We're in Tokyo. No one cares about your little graduation dinner. My sister texted. My cousin piled on. Enjoy eating alone, loser. So I quietly pulled every dollar I'd been funding their lives with and sat back as everything unraveled. The digital chime vibrated through my hand at precisely 11:47 a.m., shattering what was meant to be the pinnacle of my life's achievements. I stood before my apartment mirror, meticulously knotting my tie, a ritualistic preparation for my MBA graduation from Northwestern's Kellogg School of Management. 3 grueling years. Years of sacrificing every weekend, every social connection, every precious hour of sleep, all while holding down a demanding full-time job. 3 years of relentless grind, meticulously building towards a future I deeply believed in. Then my phone buzzed. A message from Jessica, my sister. We're in Tokyo. Nobody cares about your little graduation dinner. The words punched the air from my lungs. Before I could even register the shock, another ping. This one from Brandon, my cousin. Enjoy eating alone, loser. The sushi here is incredible. BTW. My gaze remained fixed on the screen, the vibrant text mocking me. A reservation at Alinea, painstakingly secured over 2 months, awaited 8 guests. The non-refundable deposit alone had set me back $800. Jessica, her husband Troy, Brandon, his girlfriend Ashley, my parents, Ruth and Gary, even Aunt Linda, every single one had confirmed. Multiple times. Just 3 days prior, my reminder texts were met with effusive enthusiasm. Now they were in Tokyo. My thumb scrolled upward through Jessica's message history. 2 weeks ago, she'd asked for help with her mortgage. Her boutique marketing agency was faltering. I'd transferred $3,000 without question. Before that, her car payment. Before that, Troy's dental work. For 18 months, I had been the silent financier of their shortfalls. Brandon's narrative was eerily similar: his inflated Lincoln Park rent, credit card minimums, student loan payments. I'd once tallied it all, stopping in disbelief at $42,000 over 2 years. My graduation ceremony was a mere 4 hours away. I dialed my mother. "Hi, honey." Her voice, distant and echoing, reached me. "Mom, where are you?" I asked, a tremor in my own voice. "Oh, didn't Jessica tell you? We're in Tokyo. Brandon found this incredible deal on flights, and your father's been wanting to visit Japan forever. We leave tomorrow for Kyoto." My throat tightened, a knot of betrayal. "My graduation is today," I stated, the words flat. A pause. "Oh, sweetie. That's just a ceremony. You already did the hard part. We can celebrate when we get back." "Celebrate?" "I made reservations for tonight," I confessed, my voice strained. "Alinea. For all of you." Her response chilled me. "Well, you should have asked before booking something so expensive. Besides, you know how important family trips are. We so rarely all get together." The sheer illogic of it broke my brain. They were all together, without me, on the most significant day of my professional life. "Mom, I've been supporting Jessica financially for over a year," I pleaded. "And she appreciates it. You're such a good brother. Look, I have to go. Your father wants to see the fish market. Love you." She hung up. I stood in my silent apartment, the weight of their absence pressing down. The ceremony now felt hollow, an empty gesture. Yet I went. I walked across that stage alone, shook the dean's hand, collected my diploma, my eyes futilely scanning the audience for faces I knew wouldn't be there. Afterwards, I sat in my car in the parking garage, the silence thick around me. I opened my banking app. 3 accounts: personal checking, savings, and what I privately termed my family fund. Over the past 2 years, $68,000 had flowed from my corporate finance job at a major consulting firm directly into subsidizing my family's chosen lifestyles. Jessica's boutique agency never generated profit because she refused clients. Not prestigious enough. She dreamt of luxury brands with zero connections. Meanwhile, I paid her Wicker Park mortgage. Brandon, who dropped out of law school, maintained an attorney's standard of living, $2,800 a month for rent, a leased BMW, and a girlfriend, Ashley, finding herself between part-time yoga instructing gigs. My parents, with ample retirement savings, had developed expensive tastes after my father sold his plumbing supply business, treating their golden years as an extended, overspent vacation. When their funds dwindled, my phone rang with calls about temporary shortfalls. I had enabled it all. Every manipulative guilt trip about family helping family. Every reminder that my substantial income meant I should be generous. Every unspoken expectation that my success existed solely to underwrite their choices. The Alinea reservation couldn't be cancelled. The $800 deposit was gone. I'd also prepaid for wine pairings, bringing the total loss to $3,000. Still, I called the restaurant. I need to change my reservation from 8 people to 1. The hostess hesitated. Sir, with less than 6 hours' notice, I understand. I cut in, my voice tight. 1 person. Just me. That evening, I sat alone at a table designed for 8. The staff, sensing the quiet tragedy, treated me with extraordinary kindness. The meal was exceptional, 19 courses of molecular gastronomy, each a meticulous work of art. I photographed everything, posting them on social media with a caption celebrating my MBA graduation from Northwestern. 3 years of hard work, worth every moment. Colleagues, classmates, and former professors flooded the comments with congratulations. My phone buzzed relentlessly. Jessica called at 9:30 p.m. Chicago time, late morning in Tokyo. Did you seriously post photos of eating at Alinea alone? Do you know how pathetic that looks? Her voice dripped with disdain. I had a reservation for 8. Nobody showed. I responded evenly. We told you we were traveling. You told me 2 hours before my graduation ceremony. Don't be dramatic. We can celebrate when we're back. Something in me hardened, calcified. No, I stated, my voice firm. No, we won't be celebrating. And no, I won't be sending any more money. She laughed, a brittle, disbelieving sound. Come on, you're upset. We get it. Your mortgage payment is due in 6 days. Figure it out yourself. I hung up. Brandon texted an hour later. Dude, what's your problem? Jessica said you're being weird. I didn't respond. Instead, I spent the weekend meticulously reviewing every transaction I'd made to family members over the past 3 years. A spreadsheet materialized, dates, amounts, stated purposes. The total came to a staggering $82,000. Not exclusively to Jessica and Brandon. There were emergencies for my parents, and Linda's car repair, Troy's business opportunity, that never materialized. $82,000 of my money, earned through 60-hour work weeks, sacrificed vacations, and relentless career focus. Monday morning, I contacted Harold Winters, an attorney I knew from business school, whose firm specialized in family law and financial disputes. I want to send a formal demand letter to my family, I told him, for repayment of loans. Harold raised an eyebrow. Did you document these as loans? I have records of every transfer, text messages where they ask for money, but nothing explicitly calling them loans. That makes recovery difficult legally. Were any amounts significant enough to constitute a contract? Multiple transfers over $1,000. Several over $5,000. He leaned back. I can draft demand letters. But unless they acknowledge the debt, you're looking at expensive litigation with uncertain outcomes. Family court judges are unpredictable with informal arrangements. I don't expect to see the money back, I admitted. I want them to understand I'm serious about cutting them off. Harold nodded slowly. I can do that, but this will burn bridges. They burned them first. The letters went out that Wednesday. Formal demand letters on law firm letterhead, requesting repayment of documented loans within 30 days. Jessica received one for $38,000. Brandon, $26,000. My parents, $12,000. Smaller amounts went to Troy, Ashley, and Aunt Linda. My phone exploded. Jessica called 8 times in 1 hour. I let every call go to voicemail. Her messages escalated from confused to angry to desperate. What the hell is this? You can't be serious. This is extortion. Mom is crying. How could you do this to the family? My mother called that evening, her voice shaking. Your sister just sent me this horrible letter. Please tell me this is a mistake. It's not a mistake. I've given Jessica $38,000 over the past 2 years. I'd like it back. That was a gift. Family doesn't charge family. Family also doesn't skip the most important day of their brother's life to vacation in Tokyo. Is this what this is about? You're still upset about that? The minimization stunned me. You all confirmed you'd be there multiple times. Then you flew to another country without telling me. We told you the day of, 2 hours before the ceremony. Mom, well, I'm sorry, but this is vindictive. You make excellent money. Your sister is struggling. Jessica is struggling because she refuses to take clients that would actually pay her. That's a choice, not a crisis. You sound like a stranger right now. I don't know where my kind son went. Your kind son graduated with his MBA last week. Nobody came. She hung up. Brandon's response came via text in all caps. You're insane. I'm not paying you a dime. Sue me. I forwarded his message to Harold. Client accepts the challenge. I wrote. We didn't actually sue. The point wasn't legal recovery. It was establishing a boundary with consequences. Harold sent follow-up letters, noting that continued harassment would result in restraining orders, and any future contact should go through his office. The family group chat, active daily for years, went silent. 3 weeks later, Jessica called from a different number. I almost didn't answer. Please, she said, her voice hollow. Troy left. He said he can't handle the stress anymore. I'm going to lose the house. Sell it. Downsize. Live within your means. I built my business here. My whole network is in this neighborhood. Your business loses money. You've told me that yourself. I just need one big client. One grand deal. Jessica, I've heard that for 2 years. How many big clients have you actually landed? Silence. None, she finally whispered. But I've had meetings. Meetings don't pay mortgages. So, you're just going to let me fail? The question hung between us, heavy with expectation. A part of me, the old me, wanted to fix it, to transfer money and solve the immediate crisis like I'd done dozens of times before. But then I pictured myself sitting alone at Alinea, walking across the graduation stage scanning for family who chose not to come, the 3 years of night school while they vacationed and spent freely. I'm going to let you face the consequences of your choices. I said, my voice steady, like I've had to face mine. She sobbed. I'm your sister. Then you should have acted like it. I hung up. Brandon's situation collapsed more dramatically. Without my monthly subsidies, he couldn't cover his rent. His landlord began eviction proceedings. Ashley left him, apparently discovering that her finding herself required financial stability. He moved back in with my parents, who suddenly realized they couldn't maintain their lifestyle without my periodic infusions of cash either. My father called in July. Your mother's upset. The house feels tense with Brandon here. He's 31 years old. He can get a job. He's trying. The market is tough. The market is fine for people willing to start somewhere other than the top. When did you become so cold? The question stung because I'd asked myself the same thing. But then I remembered Brandon's text. Enjoy eating alone, loser. The sting faded. I became realistic. I told my father, there's a difference. Work became my refuge. Without family obligations draining my energy and finances, I threw myself into a major project at the firm. We were consulting for a mid-size manufacturing company undergoing restructuring. I led the engagement, working directly with their executive team. Jennifer, a senior manager at the firm, noticed the change. Reviewing financial models late one evening, she observed, "You seem different lately. Focused. Is that bad? It's good. You used to seem distracted. Like part of you was always somewhere else. She was right. For 2 years, I juggled family crises alongside my career. Every emergency call from Jessica, every text from Brandon about being short on rent, every guilt trip from my mother, they'd all pulled my attention away from my work, my goals, my life. I cut off some people who were taking advantage, I admitted. Jennifer nodded knowingly. Family? How did you know? It's always family. They know exactly which buttons to push. The project succeeded. The manufacturing company implemented our recommendations and saw immediate improvements. Douglas Freeman, the partner leading the engagement, called me into his office in September. Outstanding work on the Riverside account. The client specifically praised your analysis. Thank you. We're considering you for promotion to senior consultant, but I want to be direct. It's a demanding role. More travel, larger clients, higher stakes. You need to be all in. 2 years ago, I would have hesitated. Jessica's next crisis, Brandon's next emergency, my parents' next shortfall, they would have loomed as insurmountable obstacles. Now I felt nothing but a fierce readiness. I'm all in, I said. I received the promotion in October. The salary increase was substantial, an additional $38,000 annually. The irony was not lost on me, the exact amount I'd been trying to recover from Jessica. Thanksgiving approached. Traditionally, we gathered at my parents' house. My mother called in early November. We're having Thanksgiving at 2. Please bring wine. I'm not coming. A sharp intake of breath. What do you mean you're not coming? I'm spending Thanksgiving elsewhere. With who? Friends from work? She said it like I'd announced plans to dine with criminals. You're choosing strangers over family. I'm choosing people who treat me with respect over people who don't. We love you. You have a strange way of showing it. Fine, don't come, but don't expect us to beg. I don't, I said and meant it. Jennifer had invited several colleagues to her place for Thanksgiving. Her family lived in Oregon, too far for a long weekend visit. We cooked together, 5 of us contributing dishes, laughing over burned rolls and arguing about proper turkey technique. We drank wine and told stories and watched football. Nobody asked me for money. Nobody ditched me for Tokyo. Nobody called my achievements little. I posted a photo on social media, the 5 of us around Jennifer's dining table, smiling. The caption read, "Grateful for friends who show up." Jessica commented within minutes, "Must be nice to abandon your family." I deleted the comment and blocked her. December brought the holiday party circuit. The firm's annual gala was at the Peninsula Hotel. Partners, consultants, clients, everyone dressed formally, networking, and celebrating the year's successes. Douglas Freeman gave a speech highlighting major achievements, and specifically mentioned my work on the Riverside account. Afterwards, several partners approached me to discuss future projects. These were the firm's heaviest hitters, people who controlled the most prestigious accounts and shaped careers. We're pitching a Fortune 500 client in January. One partner, Victoria Green, told me. Massive operational overhaul. I want you on the team. This was the kind of opportunity that defined careers. I'd be honored. It'll be intense. Probably 60% travel for 6 months. But if we land and execute well, you're looking at partner track. Partner track before age 35. 2 years ago, drowning in family obligations, I couldn't have managed it. Now I had nothing but runway. Christmas came and went. I spent it in San Diego with my former college roommate, Marcus, and his family. His kids were young, chaotic, and joyful. His wife, Sarah, cooked a feast. They welcomed me like an uncle, asking nothing except that I help assemble a complicated toy castle on Christmas morning. Your family good with you being gone? Marcus asked while we struggled with tiny plastic turrets. My family is why I'm gone. He did impress. We'd been friends long enough that he understood when to leave space. January launched with the Fortune 500 pitch. Our team spent 3 intense weeks preparing, analyzing the client's operations, identifying inefficiencies, modeling potential improvements. The presentation was scheduled for January 28th. The night before, I couldn't sleep. I stood at my apartment window overlooking the Chicago River, watching lights reflect off the water. Everything I'd worked for was converging: the MBA, the promotion, this massive opportunity. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. "Hello, it's Jessica." I should have hung up. Instead, I waited. "I lost the house," she said, her voice small. "Foreclosure finalized last week. I'm staying with Mom and Dad. I'm sorry that happened. Are you, though?" The question deserved honesty. "I'm sorry you're in pain. I'm not sorry you're facing consequences. I've been thinking about Tokyo," she continued, a surprising candor entering her tone. "About why we went. Brandon found a cheap flight. Mom said so. That's what we told you. The truth is, Troy wanted to go because he was already planning to leave me. He thought one last trip might fix things. Brandon came because Ashley wanted to see Japan before she dumped him. Mom and Dad came because they didn't want to miss out. And you?" A long pause. "I came because I was angry." "At what?" I asked, a tremor of old pain. "At you. For succeeding. For making it look easy while I was failing. For having money when I didn't. It felt good to hurt you back." The admission landed between us like a stone. "Hurt me back for what?" I asked, my hand tightening on the phone. "What did I ever do except help you? That's the problem. You helped so much it felt like you were proving something. Like you were rubbing my face in your success. I helped because you asked repeatedly, desperately. I know you're right. I'm trying to explain, not excuse. I've been in therapy trying to understand why I sabotaged everything." "What does your therapist say? That I resented you for having your life together while mine fell apart? That instead of fixing my problems, I punished you for not having them?" I thought about all the money, all the crises, all the midnight calls about emergencies, that I later realized weren't emergencies at all, just poor planning dressed as catastrophes. "I appreciate you telling me this," I said carefully, "but it doesn't change anything. I know. I don't expect forgiveness. I just wanted you to know I understand what I did. The Tokyo thing wasn't an accident or a miscommunication. It was cruelty. You didn't deserve it." "No, I didn't. Are you happy now? Without us?" The question surprised me with its lack of manipulation. She genuinely seemed to want to know. "Yes," I said. "I'm better without the drama and the guilt trips and the constant financial demands. I'm building the career I always wanted. I have friends who respect me. I'm not angry anymore, Jessica. I'm just done." She was quiet for a moment. "I hope you kill it tomorrow. Mom mentioned the big pitch. You deserve good things." She hung up before I could respond. The pitch went flawlessly. Our team presented for 2 hours, fielding questions with precision. The client's executives nodded throughout, asked sharp questions that we'd anticipated and prepared for. When we finished, the CEO stood and shook each of our hands. "We'll have a decision by end of week," he said. "But I'll tell you now, this is exactly what we needed to see." We won the contract. 6 months of intensive work, restructuring their entire supply chain and operational workflow. The fees were astronomical. The firm threw a celebration dinner where Douglas Freeman announced that 3 team members were being elevated to partner track. My name was first. March brought the real work. I flew to Detroit every Monday, returning to Chicago on Fridays. The client's operations were complex, their problems deeper than initial assessments suggested. But our team was strong, and I never felt more competent, more in control. Jennifer worked on the project too. We spent late nights in conference rooms reviewing data and debating approaches. She was brilliant, sharp, funny, unafraid to challenge bad ideas, including mine. "You're different than when we first met," she said one evening over room service in the hotel restaurant. "How so?" "You used to seem apologetic, like you were sorry for taking up space. Now you just take it." Good different or bad different? Good. Confident looks good on you. Something shifted between us after that. Not dramatic, just present. A possibility hanging in the air. The project wrapped in July. The client was thrilled. Their efficiency improved by 23%. Costs dropped by 18%. We delivered beyond projections. The partner track became official. My salary jumped again. I bought a new car. Nothing crazy, just a reliable Audi that I chose because I wanted it, not because anyone else needed the money more. Brandon reached out in August via email. Dad had a heart attack. He's okay, but it was serious. Thought you should know. I called my mother. She answered on the first ring. How's Dad? He's recovering. They put in 2 stents. He needs to change his lifestyle, diet, exercise, stress. I'm glad he's okay. Will you come visit? No. He's your father. He's also the father who missed my graduation to vacation in Tokyo. I'm glad he's recovering. If he wants to talk, he can call me himself. She hung up. My father called 2 days later. Your mother says you won't visit. That's correct. I almost died. Almost doesn't obligate me to pretend the last year didn't happen. He sighed. I've been thinking about things. About that trip. Your mother doesn't know this, but I didn't want to go. Then why did you? Because everyone else was going, and I thought it would be worse to be the one who stayed. I knew we were missing your graduation. I knew it was wrong. I went anyway because it was easier than standing up to the group. That's not a defense, Dad. That's just admitting cowardice. You're right. I was a coward. I'm sorry. The apology sounded genuine, but apologies without changed behavior were just words. I accept your apology, I said, but I'm not ready to have you back in my life. Will you ever be? Maybe, but you'll have to show me that you're different. Not just sorry, different. He agreed. We hung up. It wasn't reconciliation, but it was honest. September brought surprising news. Jessica had gotten a job. Not in marketing, but in retail management. She was working at a furniture store in Naperville, helping customers and managing inventory. Brandon forwarded me the information with a simple message. Thought you'd want to know. I didn't respond to Brandon, but I did look up the store. It was legitimate, part of a regional chain. The job wouldn't pay much, but it was real work. October marked 1 year since I'd cut everyone off. I thought about sending a message acknowledging it, but decided against it. The anniversary mattered to me, not to them. Jennifer and I started officially dating in November. The transition from colleagues to something more felt natural, unforced. She understood the demands of the job because she lived them too. She never asked for anything except my time and attention, both of which I freely gave. Do you ever regret it? She asked one night. Cutting off your family? Sometimes. Then I remember how much lighter I feel now. Do you think you'll reconcile eventually? With some of them, maybe. On my terms. That seems fair. Thanksgiving came around again. This time, Jennifer and I hosted. We invited 10 people, colleagues, friends, her brother visiting from Oregon. The apartment filled with conversation and laughter. We cooked for 2 days, preparing dishes from a dozen different traditions. No one posted passive-aggressive comments. No one demanded anything. We just existed together, grateful and present. I posted a photo with the caption, Year 2 of Thanksgiving with people who choose to show up. Still grateful. Jessica commented, Happy Thanksgiving. Not sarcastic, not bitter, just simple acknowledgement. I liked the comment but didn't respond. December brought the annual firm gala again. This time I attended as a partner track consultant with a major successful project completed. Victoria Green found me at the bar. Heard you're up for partner vote in March. Congratulations. Thank you. Still feels surreal. You earned it. The Detroit project was exceptional. Clients already asking for you specifically on a follow-up engagement. This was a career I'd imagined when I started the MBA. But back then, I pictured celebrating these milestones with family, sharing success with the people who'd known me longest. Instead, I'd built something better. A life surrounded by people who showed up not out of obligation, but choice. My father called on Christmas Eve. I wanted to wish you Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Dad. Your mother and I are going to counseling, working through things. That's good. Jessica got promoted at the furniture store. Assistant manager now. I heard. That's great for her. Brandon's working, too. Nothing glamorous, but he's trying. I waited. My father rarely called just to update me. I've been sober 60 days, he said quietly. Didn't realize how much I was drinking until the heart attack scared me straight. This was new information. I didn't know you had a problem. Neither did I. Turns out avoiding feelings works great until your body gives out. The counselor helped me see patterns. How I enabled your sister and Brandon because fixing their problems was easier than fixing mine. What about Mom? She's getting there. Still thinks you overreacted, but she's starting to understand why you felt abandoned. I didn't feel abandoned, Dad. I was abandoned. There's no feeling about it. You all chose a vacation over my graduation. You're right. We did, and it was wrong. We talked for another hour. He told me about cardiac rehab, about the diet changes, about confronting how he coasted through the last decade of his life avoiding discomfort. He didn't ask for forgiveness or reconciliation. He just shared where he was. Before hanging up, he said, I'm proud of you. For setting boundaries, for building a good life, for not letting us drag you down. Thanks, Dad. I hope someday we can be part of that life again. But if not, I understand. The call ended. I sat with it for a while, feeling something shift. Not forgiveness exactly, but space for possibility. Jennifer found me on the couch. You okay? Yeah. My dad called. How was it? Honest. Maybe the most honest conversation we've ever had. She curled up next to me. Does it change anything? Not yet, but maybe eventually. March arrived with the partner vote. I'd prepared for months, building my case, documenting successes, securing sponsor support. The decision came on a Tuesday morning. Douglas Freeman called me into his office. Congratulations, partner. The title felt impossible and earned simultaneously. I'd sacrificed everything for this: relationships, family, countless hours and weekends. But standing in that office, shaking Douglas's hand, I knew the cost had been worth it. That evening I texted my father. Made partner today. He responded immediately. Congratulations, son. Incredibly proud of you. I waited to see if he'd ask for anything. Money, time, access. He didn't. Just the congratulations. Clean and complete. Jessica texted too. Heard the news from Dad. That's amazing. You deserve it. Brandon sent. Congrats, man. Seriously impressive. My mother called. Your father told me. We're so happy for you. Thank you. Would you consider having dinner with us? Just the four of us. Jessica and Brandon wouldn't come. I thought about it. 16 months had passed since I'd seen any of them in person. Maybe, I said. Let me think about it. That's all I ask. Jennifer helped me process. Do you want to see them? Part of me does. Part of me remembers sitting alone at Alinea. Those parts can both be true. What would you do? I'd ask myself what I'd regret more, going and being disappointed, or not going and wondering. I scheduled dinner for April, a casual restaurant, nothing fancy. My parents arrived early. They looked older, smaller somehow. My father had lost weight. My mother's hair had gone grayer. We sat down. The first few minutes were awkward, everyone navigating around the canyon between us. My father broke the silence. Tell us about the partnership. What does it mean for your career? I explained the role, the responsibilities, the trajectory. They listened without interrupting, asked questions that showed genuine interest rather than searching for vulnerabilities. My mother reached across the table. I'm sorry about your graduation. There's no excuse. We made a selfish, hurtful choice. Yes, you did. Can you forgive us? Eventually, maybe, but we're not there yet. She nodded, withdrew her hand. That's fair. We talked for 2 hours. They told me about changes they'd made, therapy, sobriety, financial counseling. My father had started exercising daily. My mother had joined a book club, was building friendships outside the family. Jessica's dating someone. My mother mentioned. A teacher. He seems kind. That's good. Brandon's enrolled in a paralegal certification program. Working during the day, classes at night. Like you did with your MBA. The irony wasn't lost on anyone at the table. As we prepared to leave, my father said, "We're not asking to be back in your life fully. We know we lost that, but we'd like to be in it somehow, if you'll allow it. Let's start with occasional dinners," I said, "and see how it goes." Thank you. I drove home, thinking about second chances and earned grace. They'd hurt me deeply. They'd chosen badly repeatedly, but they were also trying to change, doing the hard work of becoming different people. Jennifer was waiting at my apartment. How was it? Complicated, but okay. Think you'll see them again? Yeah, but slowly. On my terms. She kissed my forehead. You're allowed to take your time. Summer brought new projects, new challenges. The partnership came with equity, with a voice in firm decisions, with recognition. I hired an assistant named Kyle who managed my calendar and travel arrangements with impressive efficiency. The financial independence I'd gained from not supporting my family's dysfunction had compounded. I maxed out retirement accounts, built investments, purchased a condo overlooking Millennium Park. For the first time in years, money felt abundant rather than scarce. Jessica and I started texting occasionally. Surface-level stuff, weather, work updates, harmless observations. She never asked for money. I never offered. The boundary held. Brandon reached out in July. Passed my paralegal exam, starting at a firm in August. I replied, "Congratulations. That's great news." He sent back, "Thanks. Couldn't have done it without hitting rock bottom, so I guess I owe you for that." The acknowledgement felt significant. August marked 2 years since I'd cut everyone off. This time, I did send a message to the family group chat that I'd rejoined months earlier. 2 years ago, made the hardest decision of my life. Thanks to everyone who respected it and did the work to rebuild differently. My father responded, "Best decision you ever made, for you and for us." Jennifer and I got engaged in September. I proposed at the Art Institute, in front of Nighthawks by Edward Hopper. She mentioned once that it was her favorite painting, the loneliness and connection existing simultaneously. "Yes," she said before I finished asking. We planned the wedding for the following June. Small ceremony, close friends, and carefully selected family. I invited my parents. "You can come, but I need you to understand something. If you cause drama or try to make the day about yourselves or past grievances, you'll be asked to leave." "We understand," my mother said. "We'll be there to celebrate you and Jennifer. Nothing else." I invited Jessica. "I'd like you there, but same rules apply." "I wouldn't miss it," she said. "And congratulations. She seems wonderful." I invited Brandon. "You're welcome to come. Bring a date if you want." "Thanks, man. I'll be there." The wedding planning became a test of the new boundaries. My mother tried once to take over venue decisions. I shut it down immediately. "Our wedding, our choices. You can come as a guest or not at all." She backed off. Jessica asked if she could help with anything. I gave her a small task, coordinating hotel blocks for out-of-town guests. She executed it perfectly, never overstepping or trying to expand her role. Brandon simply showed up where he was supposed to be when he was supposed to be there and helped, however asked. The wedding arrived. June sunshine, a rooftop venue, Lake Michigan glittering in the background. Jennifer looked stunning. I cried watching her walk down the aisle, not from sadness, but from the overwhelming rightness of the moment. My family attended. They dressed appropriately, behaved respectfully, celebrated genuinely. My father's toast was brief and heartfelt. To my son, who taught us all what boundaries and self-respect look like. May your marriage be built on the strength you've shown. Jessica hugged me during the reception. Thank you for letting us be here. Thank you for earning it. We danced. We ate. We celebrated with people who had proven themselves through action rather than blood. Marcus, my college roommate, found me late in the evening. This is beautiful, man. You did good. We did good. Jennifer's amazing. But I meant more than the wedding. You rebuilt your whole life. Cut out what was toxic. That takes courage. It took desperation. I corrected, but I'll accept courage, too. The honeymoon was 2 weeks in Portugal. Jennifer and I drove the coast, ate seafood, explored Lisbon's hills, drank port wine in Porto. We talked about the future, kids maybe, career trajectories, where we wanted to be in 5 years, 10 years. Do you think you'll ever fully forgive them? She asked one evening on a beach near Lagos. I think I already have, I said. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting or going back to how things were. It means letting go of the anger so it doesn't poison me. That's very mature. Therapy helped. So did time. And seeing them actually change instead of just promising to. What about the money? Do you ever think about trying to get it back? No. That money bought me something more valuable than $82,000. What's that? Clarity. Knowing exactly who I could depend on. That knowledge was worth every penny. We returned to Chicago in July. Work demanded attention. New clients, new projects, new responsibilities that came with partnership. Jennifer made partner at her firm, too. We became one of those power couples, juggling dual careers and somehow making it work. My parents and I settled into a rhythm. Dinner once a month. Phone calls on birthdays. They became people I enjoyed spending time with rather than people I felt obligated to support. Jessica's life stabilized. The furniture store promoted her to regional manager. She moved into a modest apartment she could actually afford. Her boyfriend, the teacher named Garrick, proposed in October. I'd love if you could come to the wedding, she said. Small ceremony. Nothing fancy. I'll be there. Brandon completed his paralegal certification and landed a job at a mid-size firm downtown. He was earning $35,000 a year. Not much, but he was covering his own expenses for the first time in his adult life. It feels good, he told me over coffee one Saturday. Knowing I'm not drowning in debt I can't pay. It is good. Self-sufficiency is underrated. I owe you an apology. I never properly gave one. The Tokyo thing. The loser comment. All of it. I was jealous and petty and cruel. I know. Does that mean you forgive me? It means I understand the place you were coming from. Forgiveness is ongoing. You keep showing up differently and I'll keep letting you in. He nodded. Fair enough. 3 years after sitting alone at Alinea, I found myself at another upscale restaurant. This time with Jennifer, celebrating her partnership. The table was full. Friends, colleagues, both sets of parents. My mother leaned over during dessert. This is lovely. Thank you for including us. Your family, I said simply. Are we? She asked, without manipulation, genuinely uncertain. You're earning your way back to being family. Keep doing what you're doing. She smiled, touched my hand briefly, went back to her conversation. Later, driving home with Jennifer, I thought about transformation. How the people who hurt me worst had become people I could tolerate, sometimes even enjoy. How cutting them off wasn't the end, but the beginning of something healthier. Happy? Jennifer asked. Very. Do you think you'll ever write about it? The whole experience? Maybe as a warning to others or a roadmap. What would you tell someone in the same situation? I considered it. That loving people doesn't mean accepting dysfunction. That boundaries aren't cruel, they're necessary. That sometimes the most loving thing you can do is let people face consequences. And that walking away doesn't make you the villain, even when they tell you it does. And about rebuilding afterward, that it's possible, that life gets better when you surround yourself with people who show up. That success feels sweeter when it's built on your terms rather than others' expectations. We parked outside our building. Chicago stretched around us, lights reflecting off Lake Michigan. No regrets? Jennifer asked. About cutting them off? No. About letting some of them back in carefully? No. About everything I've built since? Definitely not. We went inside, to the home we'd made together, to the life I constructed from the rubble of family dysfunction, buttressed by new boundaries. The last text I received that night was from Jessica. Thanks for coming to dinner tonight. It meant a lot. I replied. Thanks for being someone worth having dinner with. She sent back a simple heart emoji. Progress looked like this. Imperfect, gradual, earned through consistent action rather than demanded through blood relation. My family had become something different than they were. Not perfect, but functional. Not close, but respectful. Not what I'd imagined growing up, but what I needed now. And I had become someone different, too. Someone who didn't sacrifice himself to keep others comfortable. Someone who understood that the most important relationship to maintain was the one with myself. Someone who could celebrate success without guilt, set boundaries without apology, and build a life that reflected his values rather than others' expectations. The graduation ceremony felt like ancient history. On that day, I walked across the stage alone, scanning an audience for family who chose Tokyo instead. But sitting in my condo overlooking the city I'd conquered, married to someone extraordinary, surrounded by genuine relationships, I realized that day had been a gift disguised as abandonment. It had forced me to choose myself when nobody else would.